huge news, massive step forward for the country, and you know it's hope over fear on this show, which is that you are going to be able to buy COVID testing kits at home. This is going to mean that you're obviously going to know at home whether you got it or not, whether you can or should go and do all the different things that we plan to do with the rest of our lives when eventually we get them back. But I want to have a chat to Derek Thompson, who's the CEO of AnteoTech. They're the people who know way more about this than I do. It is, of course, their technology we're talking about here. So nice to talk to you, Derek. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you, Paul.
Put simply, okay, I wake up, I'm dressed, I'm ready to go, I've got 20 minutes. How do I do the test?
Okay, well, most antigen tests just work simply with a cassette. You can take a nasal swab, put the sample into the cassette, leave it for 15 minutes, put it in a reader, or some of them are visual, and you've got your result. You're there and there. So very, very, very easy. Most of them are 15 minutes. Ours is 15 minutes. And you're right to go.
So obviously, are people able to turn around and buy these in, 10s, 15s, 20s, 100s if they want to? Because for obvious reasons, it'll get rather expensive if you're doing this 365 times a year.
Yeah, well, at-home tests are reasonably expensive. They've been available in the United States, for example, for quite a while now, and they retail anywhere from $10 to $40, some of them. And if you do that every day, it would be an expense. Other tests like our test, the test that we produce on the Eugenie platform is used as a screening test, and they're much cheaper. It's usually used at a gateway or an airport or a sporting event or something like that, and there's a reader on the table, and our tests are cheaper than that, and so that's a lot more cost effective. The at-home tests are usually used when you think you might have a symptom and you just want to check and make sure that you've got a cold or COVID, and you'll get a good result from an at-home test, and that'll give you peace of mind, or an indication that you should isolate and stay away from other people. So different uses, different price points. The at-home tests are usually, for people to have peace of mind whether they've got the disease or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are what the old term bush lawyer. There's a lot of sort of bush medical experts at the moment. So I'll just ask the straight up bogan question, which is how is this test different than the one that you'd have to drive somewhere and then get the swizzle stick up the nose and down the throat, or hopefully the other way around?
Yeah, that's right. So they're lab-based tests. So usually what happens when there's a screening event or there's a fear that COVID is in the community, like we have had in New South Wales, there's points where you can go and have a test and you take a sample from the nose, the brain swab, as people call it, and that sample is taken off to a lab. And that process takes about a day, or can take even longer, to get the result back. So you don't know, and whilst you're not knowing or you're waiting for the result, many people are active in the community and spreading the disease. So with rapid antigen tests, such as our Eugenie platform, you've got the result right on the spot. 15 minutes, you, as I mentioned, put the sample into the cassette, you put the cassette into the reader, and you've got a result straight away. So if you're positive, obviously you need to isolate straight away, and therefore you don't go on spreading the disease. So very effective in terms of controlling the pandemic. And as I said, overseas countries in Europe and the US have been using rapid antigen tests for that reason, either in the field or at home, to control the pandemic a lot more effectively than we have been doing it here.
Now, if you get all the relevant ticks, is this something that people have to buy from you, or they'll be able to buy at a chemist? In terms of delivery, how's it going to work?
Well, the announcements that have been made today by the federal government for at-home tests are tests that you can buy at a pharmacy and you can take them home. So again, if you feel like you might have a symptom or you're just worried and you want to do a test at home, the at-home test is a self-use test. So you use it at home and it gives you a result at home, and you make the decision on whether you should isolate or not. So that's the announcement that's been made by the federal government today, that these types of tests will be available soon in Australia. And as I mentioned, these types of tests have been used extensively in the United States for quite a while now.
Okay, and sorry, what's the price point again?
Test, which is it ranges. Some of them are cheap. In the United States, you can buy some at-home tests for around the $15 mark. Some of them go up to $50 or $60. Mm-hmm. So there is a range, and different tests have different attributes. For example, there's one test that has an attribute that it connects to your mobile phone, so the result can be sent to your mobile phone. and other cheaper ones are just visual ones like a pregnancy test where you get the result and you view it like a pregnancy test, and they're a bit cheaper. So there is that range and different attributes for different types of tests.
Well, congrats on the technology and enjoy the boom that's no doubt coming your and many other companies' way. All the best to you, Derek. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.